2 years after being brought from the colonies by his owner Charles Stuart, James Somerset escaped in the city of London. When he was later caught, Somerset contacted Granville Sharp, a well-known abolitionist lawyer. Somerset and Sharp sued Stuart for Somerset's freedom on the basis of the 1679 Habeas Corpus Act, which declared that a man could not be held against his will. The London Court of King's Bench, presided over by Lord Mansfield, ruled in favor of Somerset. This did not bring an immediate end to slavery in the colonies, but it was a resounding victory for anti-slavery groups. The Mansfield judgment stated, "The state of slavery is of such a nature
that it is incapable of being introduced on any reasons, moral or political, but only political law, which preserves its force long after the reasons, occasion, and time itself from which it was created is erased from memory. It is so odious that nothing can be suffered to support it but positive law. Whatever inconveniences, therefore, may follow from a decision, I cannot say this case is allowed or approved by the law of England, and therefore the black must be discharged."
This strong foundation of anti-slavery ideas and precedent in English law inspired the French people to create a more radical abolitionist movement that would ignite a revolution. In 1788, the Société des Amis des Noirs, or the Society of Friends of Blacks, formed in Paris in order to combat the slave trade and advocate for freedom in the French colonies. The society was inspired by humanitarianism, egalitarian currents, and the London Society for the Abolition of the Slave Trade. Ami ideas were mainly expressed through the distribution and circulation of English anti-slavery literatures, translated into French, as well as writings from their own members. One member in particular, Marquis de Condorcet, had significant influence through abolitionist literature. His writings emphasized that social environment, not ethnicity, shaped human potential. The society was also active in denouncing colonial individuals, as well as addressing societies and government officials about abolition of the slave trade, violence in St. Dominic, and French commercial interests. Because of these activities, Ami was often accused of being used by the British to destroy French colonies. A year after the society was formed, on July 14, 1789, the people of Paris stormed the Bastille, igniting the French Revolution and further inspiring Ami. The government began to make immense changes to French law, and on August 26, 1789, they published the Declaration of the Rights of Man and of the Citizen, which stated that human rights were universal. All men were free and equal.
Men are born and remain free and equal in rights. Social distinctions may be founded only upon the general good. Liberty consists in the freedom to do everything which injures no one else. Hence the exercise of the natural rights of each man has no limits except those which assure to the other members of society the enjoyment of the same rights. These limits can only be determined by law.
Unfortunately, this declaration was not applicable to the slaves. In response, Ami pushed for the new revolutionary ideas of France to be applied to the colonies. However, the government argued that the ideas of the revolution did not apply to the colonies, and their abolition would be detrimental to the French economy. So, in 1790, the Committee on Colonies was formed to address groups like Ami and to deal with problems arising from slave revolts in the colonies. However, the committee did not alleviate any problems relating to the colonies, but instead they favored French commercial interests. Antoine Pierre Barnave, an influential lawyer and member of the Committee on Colonies, spoke to the government concerning rights of the colonies.
These men, who some have affected to confuse with peaceful citizens occupied with seeking through reflection means for softening the destiny of the most unfortunate portion of the human race, the slaves. These men, I say, only have perverse motives and can only be considered as enemies of France and of humanity. Judging favorably the motives that have inspired the citizens of the said colonies, it declares that there is no reason to pursue them for any charge. It expects from their patriotism the maintenance of public peace, an inviolable fidelity to the nation, the law, and the king.